You do not lack discipline. You just broke too many promises to yourself. Your brain stopped believing you. There is a difference. When you set another goal and abandon it, 3 days later, you train yourself. You teach yourself that your word means nothing. Your brain cannot trust your commitment and follow through on hard tasks at the same time. Therefore, every new start feels hollow. Every plan already feels like a lie. You call it a discipline problem. But discipline is not what you are missing. What you are missing is integrity. The moment you stop treating your promises like suggestions, like optional ideas, whether keeping them feels convenient, that is when your brain finally cooperates. Therefore, the fix is not pushing harder. The fix is rebuilding trust. You already know what to do, you just quit. When you're busy protecting yourself from another failure, you have been here before. You swore this time would be different. You made the plan, set the alarm, told yourself you were ready. But you were not building discipline. You were stacking another promise on top of a foundation that already collapsed. Your brain keeps a record. Every failed start, every abandoned commitment, every moment you chose comfort over the thing you said mattered. It does not forget. Therefore, when you try again, there is always that voice, quiet, certain, already knowing how this ends. You call it self-doubt. But it is not doubt. It is evidence. Your brain is not sabotaging you. It is just refusing to believe you anymore. You trained it to expect failure. So, failure is what it prepares for. Therefore, every new goal triggers the same response. Resistance, hesitation, the strange heaviness before you even start. You think you need more motivation, but motivation is not the issue. The issue is that you destroyed your own credibility when you say you will wake up early and you do not. When you say you will finish the project and you do not. When you say this version of you is real and then you disappear again. You are teaching yourself a pattern. The pattern is simple. Your word does not matter. Therefore, your brain stops investing energy into your plans. Why would it? You have proven over and over that you will not follow through. So it waits, detached, already counting down to the moment you quit. You call it procrastination, but procrastination is just the symptom. The root is broken trust. Most people think the problem is external. They need a better system, a stronger routine, more accountability. But no system works when you do not trust yourself to use it. Therefore, you keep searching for the perfect framework while ignoring the real issue. You do not believe you anymore. This is not about willpower. Willpower is what you use when trust is already intact. When your brain knows you keep promises, following through feels natural. When your brain knows you break them, every action feels like dragging weight uphill. Therefore, the heaviness you feel is not weakness. It is your brain protecting itself from another betrayal. You cannot force discipline into a system that does not trust you. You cannot shame yourself into consistency. You cannot punish your way back to integrity. The only way forward is to rebuild it, slowly, deliberately. One kept promise at a time. You do not start with the big goal. You start with something so small, your brain cannot reject it. 5 minutes, one task. Something you can complete before doubt arrives. But here's what matters. You do it, you finish it. You prove to yourself that your word still holds. This is not about the result. This is about the pattern you are rewriting. Every time you say you will do something, and you actually do it, you deposit credibility back into yourself. Every time you follow through, you teach your brain that this version of you is real. Therefore, the goal is not transformation. The goal is reliability. You stop trying to become someone new overnight. You start becoming someone who keeps their word to themselves. Most people fail here because they aim too high too fast. They want the dramatic change, the total reset, but dramatic change requires trust you do not have yet. Therefore, you collapse under the weight of your own expectation. The brain does not respond to grand declarations. It responds to proof, small, repeated, undeniable. You do not need to run 10 miles. You need to prove you can run 1 and not quit halfway through. You do not need to work for 6 hours straight. You need to prove you can sit down for 20 minutes without escaping. This is how you rebuild, not through force, through evidence. Every kept promise is a brick. Every completed task is a signal. Your brain watches, it measures, it slowly begins to believe you again. Therefore, consistency is not about perfection. It is about proving, over and over, that you mean what you say. The shift happens quietly. One day, you notice the resistance is lighter. The voice that used to whisper, "This won't last," starts to fade. Not because you silenced it, but because you replaced it with something stronger, proof. You stop needing to convince yourself. You just act because your brain finally trusts that when you say you will do something, you do it. This is the law of internal integrity. Your external discipline is a direct reflection of your internal trust. You cannot outwork a broken relationship with yourself. You cannot hack your way past self-betrayal. Therefore, the only path forward is to stop breaking promises. Start small, keep them, build slowly. The moment you stop treating your commitments like suggestions, everything changes. You stop needing motivation. You stop waiting for the right moment. You stop searching for the perfect plan. You just keep your word. And your brain finally follows. You already know what you need to do. You have always known. The question is whether you are willing to prove it to yourself again, one small promise at a time.